Hello, 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 hello. Welcome back to Down the Rabbit Hole. I want to wish you a Merry Christmas. I want to wish you a Happy New Year, depending on when you're watching this. Today we're going to be talking about some old money families. With that being said, why don't I dive in? So, I'm currently also watching Kyla Kelsey's podcast. I'm love for podcast, and everything else. But if you're new here at Down the Rabbit Hole, we talk about history, people of history, urban legends, paranormal activity, many different topics. We go down the rabbit hole and discuss. And I did that actually a few episodes ago when I talked about the 400 and the Gilded Age. As we know, the Gilded Age is one of my favorite eras of history, along with the Victorian era, of course. And here's the thing, I could not be a Gilded Age member. I could not be part of high society. I'm from redneck country and I take full advantage of it. But anyway, with that being said, why don't I dive into today's episode before you click out? Today we're going to be talking about a very famous old family in one of the oldest and richest families in the U.S. And this is called the Rockefeller family. Why does that sound so familiar? The Rockefeller Center, perhaps? Exactly, it had to come from somewhere. Well, the fortune was made by American petroleum industry during the late 19th century and the early 1920s and 20th centuries by brothers John D. Rockefeller and William A. Rockefeller Jr., primarily through the Standard Oil and everything. And I'm from Demopolis, so the Chevron Corporation, we Chevron is a big gas station down there. I don't think I've come across any up here in Murfreesboro, but the family had a long association with the control of the Chase Manhattan Bank. And by 1987, the Rockefellers were controlled one of the powerful families in American history. And the Rockefellers family originated in Rhineland in Germany, and many members moved to the U.S. In the early 18th century, while through Eliza Davison, with family roots in Middlesex County, New Jersey, and John D. Rockefeller and William A. Rockefeller Jr., and their descendants also through Scots Irish ancestry. Let's talk about the background now of the Rockefeller family. The Rockefeller family originated in the Rhine, like I said, in Rhineland region of Germany. They can be traced to the town of Neurid in the early 17th century, and the American family branched its descendants from Johannes Peters Rockefeller, who migrated from the Rhineland to Philadelphia in the province of Pennsylvania around 1723. In the U.S., he became a plantation owner and landholder in Somerville and Ainville, New Jersey. One of the first members of the Rockefeller family in New York was a businessman by the name of William A. Rockefeller Sr., who was born into a Protestant family in Granger, New York. And he had six children with his first wife, Eliza Davison, who was the daughter of a Scots Irish farmer, and the most prominent of which were oil tycoons John D. Rockefeller and William A. Rockefeller Jr., who were the co founders of the Standard Oil. So, sorry, the Taylor Swift song popped into my head as soon as I said that. Oh my gosh. Yes, I am a Swiftie. I know. You're disappointed in me, but that's life. People are gonna be disappointed in you. They might as well just get over it, right? Um. Anyway, um, John D. Rockefeller was known as Senior, also opposed to his son. John D. Rockefeller, known as Junior, was a devout Northern Baptist and he supported many church institutions. While the Rockefeller family are mostly Baptist, some of the Rockefellers were Episcopalians. I always mispronounce that word. Always. Why is it so hard to say? Why does it have to be? It's like saying cat. I know I can say Catholic, but I cannot say Catholic. Y'all know what I'm trying to say. Anyway, their wealth was now. Let's talk about their wealth for a minute. Their combined wealth of the family and their total has never been known with any precision, and the records of the family's archives relating to both the families and individual members' net worth are closed to researchers. Now, from the outset, the family's wealth has been under the complete control of the male members' of the dynasty throughout the family office. Despite the strong-willed wives who had influence over the husband's decisions, in all cases received allowances only and were never given any partial responsibility to the family fortune. Here's the thing. I am too much of an independent woman to receive an allowance from my husband. I really am. I feel for my future husband. See, I'm a working person. I believe two parties that they should work. You need to, and especially in today's economy, you need two family. You need a two. You need a two-job household. Sometimes three jobs, honestly, if not four. It's really sad. Like this economy is terrible right now. I've been trying to get a paralegal job. I have no such luck. I'm barely able to make rent as it is. So that tells you anything. But anyway, much of the wealth has been locked up in the family's trust in of 1934, and everything, and the trust in the 1952, and both administered by Chase Bank, the corporate successors of the Chase Manhattan Bank, and those trusts have consisted of shares of the successor companies of the Standard Oil and the diversified investments, as well as the family considerable real estate holdings, and they were administered by a trust committee and oversees the fortune. Now, management of the company today also rests in the professional monies managers who oversees the principal holding companies in the Rockefeller Financial Services, which controls all of the money investments. And the Rockefeller Center is no longer owned by the family, and its present chairman of the patriarch is David Rockefeller Jr. So, in 1992, it had five main arms. That was Rockefeller and Company. The universities had also invested some of their endowments into the company. Um, Venrock Associates, Rockefeller Trust Company, Rockefeller Insurance Company, and Arcadia Risk Management broker management. There was also real estate and institutions. I cannot talk for some reason, y'all. So the family was heavily involved in numerous real estate, construction, properties, and everything. Now, what about the legacy? Because you know, a family this big, this much history and everything, there's got to be a legacy, right? Well, a trademark of the dynasty over 140 plus years has been a remarkable unity. And y'all know, eventually, with trademarks, you eventually do have to renew them every once in a while. So the fact that, look at Disney. They messed up with their trademark for that. And now they have like a horror movie of Mickey Mouse. Whoa, trademarks. I really want to get into intellectual loss so bad. Okay, sorry, getting lost in daydreaming again. Y'all are probably thinking, okay, I'm not liking her at this point, but I'm getting sidetracked. I'm going on side quest. I don't mean to keep going on side quest, but anyway, you hit down the rabbit hole to learn about the Rockefeller family. I want to say Carnegie family, but anyway, as I was saying, a trademark of the dynasty over its 140 plus years has been the remarkable unity in its maintained, despite major divisions of developed in the late 1970s. And unlike the wealthy families such as the DuPonts and the Mellons, a primary reason has been a lifelong effort as Junior to not only cleanse the name from the disgrace stemming from the ruthless practices of the Standard Oil, but also tireless efforts to forge the family unity as it allowed the five sons to operate independently. And this was partly achieved by regular brothers and family meetings, but it was also because of the high value placed on the family unity by Nelson and John III, and later especially with David. Now, regarding achievements of the family, in 1972 on the 100th anniversary, um, hand, founding of Andrew Carnegie's philanthropy. I was just talking about the Carnegie. Well, you know. Anyway, the Carnegie Corporation, which had also been long associated with the family and in its institutions, released a public statement with the influence of not just philanthropy but encompassing much wider field of predominance of bond. Now, John D. Rockefeller gave away 540 million over his lifetime. Um, It has become the greatest lay benefactor of medicine in history. His son Junior also gave away 537 million. Give some of that to me, please. That would be nice. Over his lifetime, bringing a total philanthropy of just two generations over 100 and over 1 billion from 1860 and 1960. And according to the New York Times, it declared in its report, David Rockefeller's total charitable benefactors amount was about 960 million. Now, the combined personnel and the social connections of the various family members are vast, both in the U.S. and throughout the world, including the most powerful politicians, royalties, public figures, and share businessmen. Figures of the Standard Oil, along with Henry Flagler and Henry H. Rogers, and contemporary figures include Henry Kissinger, William Parsons, I mean Richard Parsons, C. Fred Bragstad, and anyway, um, Peter G. Peterson and Paul Walker. Hey, I'm just a girl. I make mistakes. In 1991, the family presented the honor award to the National Building Museum and everything else. And everything. Now, what about the conservation? Well, beginning with John D. Rockefeller Sr., the family has been a major force in land conservation. Over the generations, it has created more than 20 national parks and open spaces, including the Clusters Acadia National Park, Forest Hill Park, the Nature Conservancy, the Rockefeller Forest in California, and everything else. Now, in 2016, a fifth generation descendant of John Sr. criticized the ExxonMobil, one of the successors of the of his company Standard Oil, for its for their record on climate change and everything else. So, but that is it for this episode. I will see y'all next time. Y'all have a Merry Christmas and a